What's up, everybody? Axe Wizard here, back with another video, but this time about Lord of the Rings Online, or LOTRO as it's called. It's a older MMO that's been around for a while and still has quite a following, and it's one of the things that attracted me to it. I've been wanting to get into another MMO. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 for the last few years, and I don't know what it is, but I just log in, say hi to some friends, and then I don't really know what to do, so then I just kind of log out again. So I'm exploring a new MMO. I keep wanting to play something like Classic WoW, Classic World of Warcraft, even though I would log into that game and then there's been a few times where I've renewed my subscription for like a month to play it for like 2 hours and then log out again thinking, man, I wasted that money. So I wanted something that wouldn't cost me anything. And Lord of the Rings Online, LOTRO, is free to play. So I figured, what do I have to lose by trying it out? So during my live stream, I delved into it for the first time. I was agonizing over what I wanted to do in character creation. I was struggling between starting a Bjorning, or a Dwarf. Decided to go to Dwarf because the Bjorning only had one class available, and the class was listed as being advanced. So I didn't know if that was necessarily the best option for a beginner player. So looking through the classes available to the Dwarf, there's a few ones. The ones that were recommended to me that were more suited for beginners was like, I believe, was it Champion or Captain or something like that? It was the one that like dual wields or whatever. There was the Hunter, and there was one other one that was recommended. But I kind of just, once I saw the Minstrel, I kind of wanted to play that. Like that just tickled my fancy. So I went with the Minstrel, and I don't regret it so far. Really fun, because I like playing healers in games, and this is the first game I've seen a Minstrel or a Bard that's listed as a straight healer class and not a support class. So I thought that was really interesting, and I kind of wanted to explore that, because a lot of MMOs I played and a lot of other games I've played that has a Bard or a Minstrel style class, it's usually a support character. But in LOTRO, there are support roles. There are some classes that were labeled as support. Minstrel was labeled as healer. So I was intrigued because I like playing healers in MMOs. So if I ever get to a point where I can do some group content, I love playing the role of healer. I'm all about that. So I made my character, I jumped right in. Instantly, I'm greeted with Gandalf the Grey, and he's basically getting all the dwarves to go ready to help, to get ready to convince Bilbo to go on the journey, like in The Hobbit, to go help Thorin Oakenshield. And we're left in the care of Gimli and this guy named Gormer Dowerhand. And so something happened, the mine started caving in or whatnot, so I gotta rush in, I gotta save a bunch of these dwarves, I gotta convince them to leave, because I guess they just won't leave unless they have an order to leave, because I was kind of asking myself, why don't you guys just leave themselves? Are they stupid? But I guess they gotta stay there until they're told they can leave. So we ran in, gave them the order to leave. There was this deaf guy who was across a chasm or whatever, and we were trying to shout for him to, like, you know, come with us, and he ended up like mining too far and a troll busted out, and then he got smushed by the troll, and then Gimli was over there trying to like bait the troll and basically attack the troll, right? So he ended up running down a corridor. We got to run around to go try to get to him, but the way he went's all caved in, so then we got to go around where the troll came in. And I got to fight a bunch of these like weird claw-nosed things that were pretty easy. And then we run up, and as Gimli is fighting the troll, Gandalf in that Gormer Dowerhand douche nozzle comes in, and Gandalf like summons this sweet beam of light that just turns this troll thing to stone. And that was pretty cool. And it's still there when you go back to it later, which is even more cool. And then this Gormer guy finds like something shiny on the ground, which I was actually trying to loot because I saw it first, and I was like, I'm gonna loot it while they're fighting the troll. But then I kind of got stuck in this animation lock while Gandalf did the sweet beam of light and petrified the troll dude. So, and then that's basically like the very intro, like the tutorial, I guess you could say. And then it kind of like fast forwards like years after the events of The Hobbit, I guess, because, you know, Thorin Oakenshield, I guess, you know, with the took back the Lonely Mountain or whatnot, and so now it's run by Gormer Dowerhand, and I guess he's running the place to shit, is what I'm inferring from the story so far. So I did find it kind of funny that like the years that have passed since those events, my dwarf hasn't done dick. I was still like level 1. So during that whole event in the troll cave earlier, I also came across like this preserved corpse that was down there, and there were some flowers around it. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. It just seemed inconsequential. Like, okay, there's a dwarf here. It's an elven ruin. Got it. I got to go fight this troll, right? So years later, we are investigating. I guess the Longbeards are back, and I'm working with the Longbeards, and we are investigating like why Gormer Dowerhand has let this place basically fall to shit. And so then we working with these elves who were like the descendants of Elrond, which is cool. And they have like this poem or something, this prophecy, this vision, this riddle, and they read that, and then we're trying to figure it out. And then we end up basically finding out that Gormer seems to have taken that body that we found in the intro part, and the flowers seem to grow wherever Skorgrim is. Skorgrim is the ancient descendant who that body is. And I guess the Dowerhands revere Skorgrim as like the true Dwarven king or something, and they kind of don't like the line of Thorin. So there's a bit of a contention there. So I go through the mine again. I see the troll. I end up following the trail of flowers, and I talk to Gormer Dowerhand, and he kind of has me go pay respects to this other shrine to Skorgrim. And then I go back, and he's kind of like, you should come back later. We're having a cool celebration. And then everything kind of feels kind of sus. So then I go back and I report my findings to, what was his name? Dwalin. And I think that is about where I stopped, and it was all very interesting. And once I got into the flow of how things worked, I was enjoying myself. It was a pretty cozy gameplay. Even though I was watching chat and stuff, it wasn't detracting from my experience, and it was just really nice and immersive. And it's one of those games that I was streaming for like 2.5 hours. Oh, my camera froze. That was cool. It's one of those games where I was like streaming for like 2.5 hours, like almost 3 hours, and it only felt like 45 minutes. And that's awesome. That's what I was looking for. So I'm excited to delve more into it. And I played it a bit while I was offline so I can configure my UI a bit more, because it does have lots of customization options for the UI. You can actually move where things are. You can control the size of things and the text log size. You can control what text logs you see in the chat window. And yeah, so far it's all stuff that makes sense to me because I've played MMOs before. I don't know how user-friendly it would be to someone who's never played an MMO before, but I think it does a good job of introducing these concepts to you in a measured pace. It doesn't throw it at you all at once, and I did kind of like that. There were a few times to where like something would happen and I'd be reading like a tutorial pop up and I would lose like track of what the hell was going on. So I'd have to like read the chat log and kind of see what was going on in order to find out what I just missed, because I was distracted trying to read this tutorial hint pop up. But to be fair, I don't know when would be the best time to do those, and so I don't know. It's fine, but the tutorial hints themselves are, I think they're worded well. They don't have too much information. They don't have not enough information. For the most part, they had exactly what you needed to know to understand what's going on. There were a few things I wish it would explain to me. Like, at first I didn't quite grasp the meaning of the different colors of like enemies and stuff like that. So for example, when I first started out, I was fighting enemies that just had their name tags in white or gray. And I was like, okay, cool. And then later on, I started seeing enemies that had a name tag in blue. And I was like, are these friendly? Are they hostile? Like, what does that mean? Because I was used to like World of Warcraft thinking to where, you know, if you have an enemy that's yellow, it means they're neutral. If you have an enemy that is red, it means that they're hostile and they will attack you when you aggro them. I wasn't catching on to what the colors meant, right? So then I saw later on that there was like a guard that was like red or orange or something. I don't know. I'm partially colorblind. So I was like, I don't know. Is he going to attack me? And then it didn't seem to make any sense. I was being randomly attacked by blue and white mobs, and then occasionally I'd be able to walk by blue and white mobs with nothing. So I eventually deduced that if it's white, it means it's like the same level as you. If it's blue, it means that it's a little bit below you. And then if it's like a light blue, it means that it's super below you. I'm only level 7, so I don't know if mobs turn to like gray later on once you get higher level. I don't know. But then I infer that the enemies that are red are much higher level than you. And now that I'm level 7, that level 10 guard, I think it has the name is more in orange. So maybe orange and red just means like it's higher level than you, and like the more intense the red, the more dangerous it is. So that makes sense now. I don't know how to tell if an enemy will like aggro on you if you get close to it. So I don't know how to deduce that yet. The only warning I have is that sometimes mobs, when you get close to them, will like they'll put like a entry in the chat log, or they'll do some sort of motion that's like, oh, it's about to attack, so you better get away from it, right? And then some mobs don't even have that. They'll just roll up on you and start slapping the shit out of you. So I wish I knew a better way to look at a mob and be able to tell whether it's going to aggro on me or not, or whether I can safely walk by it. But at the same time, it is kind of immersive just seeing a new enemy that you don't know what it is, you don't know how it's going to react, and then you just walk up and slowly see if it's going to attack you or not, which is basically what you would do in real life, right? So there is that element of immersion that arises from that. So now I'm not sure if I really want to know if a mob is hostile or not. I mean, obviously I would from a gameplay perspective, because I want to be as efficient as possible, but from just a role play and game immersion perspective, nah, it's fine. I kind of like it the way it is. So yeah, I'm just excited to get back into it, but I wanted to share my thoughts for those who didn't want to watch my long live stream. I want to give like a summary here, kind of like what Preach Gaming does when he checks out MMOs, because I really appreciate those videos, because I can't always watch his streams because he's in the UK, and you know, time zone difference. Unfortunately, I think by the time I'm getting up, his stream is ending usually, I think. So, and I don't really have the time to go watch a VOD, a video on demand of it. So I really appreciate his summaries that he does of, you know, day one of, you know, whatever it is he's playing these days. Like, I really appreciate those. And I want to do something similar. So anyway, thank you all for watching. It should be a quick video today. Just wanted to give a quick update, and then I will be enjoying this long weekend. So I hope you all have, if you're not celebrating the holiday, I hope you have a wonderful time, and hopefully you get some time off from work at least. And anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see you in whatever video I make next, or maybe whenever I go live next. Thanks.